Hello learners, welcome to NIOS. In our today's lesson, we will study about the nature of education in ancient India. Before doing that, let us first understand what is culture. Culture is the sum total of different factors like art, architecture, religion, science, and education. Learner education is a learning experience. It is not limited to schools and colleges. In fact, learning takes place throughout life. Our first teachers are our parents, family, and society. They teach us about different skills and educate us. Now that we understand about education, let us learn how the system of education developed in ancient India. Dear learners, the ancient period in Indian history can be divided into many parts. Let us discuss them one by one. First, Vedic period. First, we will discuss the condition of education in India during the Vedic period. Education in ancient India was given by teachers called gurus. Do you know that in those days the students lived with their gurus as family members? This place was called Gurukul, as both the guru and the student live in the Gurukul. The relation between the guru and his students was very close and personal. This was called as Guru Shishya Parampara. The process of learning began with a religious ceremony called as the Upanyan. Let us understand about this ceremony now. The Upanyan ceremony was performed before a child could start his education. This was a compulsory ceremony among the Hindus in ancient period. Learners, do you know that the education was given orally in those days. Students had to learn subjects like Vedas, grammar, logic, etc. Second, Mauryan period. The second period was the Mauryan period. It is important to understand that the Indian society went through a process of change during this period. Our trade flourished. New cities were formed, and in the merchants and businessmen became very important in the society. This led to the formation of guilds. Learners, have you heard this term guild before? Let me explain it to you. Guilds were the bodies of merchant belonging to different professions. For example, there were carpenters guilds, goldsmith guilds, potters guilds, weavers guilds, etc. During the Mauryan period, these guilds started providing technical education, to the students, subjects like mining, carpentry, weaving, dyeing, architecture, etc. were taught by these guilds. Learner, another subject in which great progress was made during this period was astronomy. That is, study of heavenly bodies like sun, moon and stars. In the field of medicine, also great development took place. Ayurveda, or Indian system of medicine was systematically studied for the first time during the Mauryan period. Right now, you can see the picture of Charak on your TV screen. He was the father of Indian medicine. He wrote Charak Samhita. Which is considered as a great work on medicine. Another branch of medicine, in which great progress was made, was surgery. The credit for this goes to Sushruta. Dear learners, Chanakya, the famous philosopher and teacher, wrote Arthashastra. This is considered an authentic work on state policy. Administration. In Arthashastra, it is mentioned that generally the right of education was reserved for the princes of the royal family. The prince's education began with the Upanyan ceremony. The students had to learn for Vedas, Rigveda, Samveda, Atharved and Yajurved. Besides learning skills like horse riding, shooting, sword fighting, swimming, etc. Third, Gupta period. Learner, now we will study about the condition of education in Gupta period. In the Gupta period, the Jain and Buddhist system of education developed and became popular. The students were admitted in Buddhist monasteries or math for 10 years. During this period, both oral and written method were used for education. Do you know that students from China and Southeast Asia came to study in India during the Gupta period? Learner, can you tell the name of that famous Chinese traveler who came to India during this time? His name was Fa Hin, and he lived and studied in Patliputra. For many years. You will be surprised to know that Patliputra is the old name of modern Patna. Beside Patliputra, there were other centers of learning famous all over the world like Varanasi, Mathura, Ujjain, and Nasik. Nalanda University was known all over Asia for its high standard of learning. Sanskrit was the chief medium of instruction. However, later Prakrit, Kannada, Tamil, and Telugu were used as medium of instruction. The Mathas, supported by Brahmins, gave Vedic knowledge to the students. Fourth, Postgupta period. Learners, the fourth period was the Postgupta period. During this period, great progress was made in the field of arts and education. The credit for this goes to King Harsha. Who was a great supporter of education and learning. Education was given in temples, monasteries, and universities. Ujjain, Nalanda, and Gaya were important centers for learning during this period. Famous Chinese scholar came to India during this time and study at Nalanda. Dear learners, colleges became new center of learning during post-Gupta period. The medium of instruction was Sanskrit. And Brahminic education was given in these institutions. However, only upper caste students were allowed to study at these colleges. Thus, we see that education was limited to only the upper caste people. By now, we have studied about the growth of education during different phases in ancient India. Now let us try and understand about the other aspects of education during that period. The aim of education in those days was the development of the student's personality. It was believed that after gaining knowledge, a person's thinking capacity will increase. and he will become more wise. Science like making bricks, measuring areas, making metal object, etc. were known to people in ancient India. During the post-Vedic period, great progress was made in the field of medicine also. Charak Samhita and Sushruta Samhita were two important work in this field. Ganit or mathematics also became very popular. Different branches of the subject like arithmetic, algebra, astronomy and astrology were taught in school and colleges. Aryabhat wrote Aryabhatiya, an important work on mathematics. During ancient India, Sanskrit was the most important language. It was the chief medium of instruction for Vedic or Brahmin education. Prakrit was the language of the common people. Pali, which was an early form of Prakrit, was also popular. Most of Buddhist literature is in Pali and Prakrit language. However, in South India, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam and Kannada were the chief languages. With these, we have come to the end of this lecture. Let us quickly revise what we have learned in this lesson so far. First, meaning of culture and education. Second, growth of education in ancient India during Vedic, post-Vedic, Maurya, Gupta and Postgupta period. Third, medium of instruction and the various subjects taught during ancient period. If you have any query, you may send email at signlanguage@nios.ac.in. For more information, you can visit our website at www.nios.ac.in. Learners, that's all for today. Hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.